So I've had the 404 for a little while now. I did my homework on it, so I'm not surprised by some of the limitations it has. But I was surprised by some other limitations that I had, some ways that I thought it might work, but it didn't. These things aren't a deal breaker at all, and that's why I'm doing the Stickerbomb to seal the deal on this. I am keeping this. It's going to become a part of my workflow. So customizing it is just kind of, stating to myself that I'm in it for the long run, as I have been studying up on this thing for a minute, and now it's here to stay. So let's check out the Stickerbomb customization, and then I'm going to make a beat using the Live in conjunction with the 404. Okay, so I'm about to customize this with a few stickers. We call it a Stickerbomb. It's a kind of a trend with the lo-fi community with the SP-404, so I figured I'd jump on a bandwagon. So here's a few things that I need. I got the X-Acto knife kit. Not sure if this is even an X-Acto knife kit. I think that's a brand. This is like some cheap brand that I found on eBay. My stickers in here. Got a hex key set so I can get these screws off. And I'm going to take the faceplate off. I'm going to put the stickers on it. And then wherever they land, if they're kind of over where a button would be, I'm going to have to cut that off. So one other thing that I do have is a cutting board so that I'm not cutting my desk up. First of all, I'll get my hex key set and start unscrewing these. Yep, that's a good fit. So looks like all I have is 4 of them. They look like that. Also, I think I'm gonna have to take these knobs off before I take the faceplate off. That's pretty much it right there. Just the 4 knobs, 4 screws. Took them off with the hex key. Took about like a minute. And here's the faceplate, and it does just come right off. Alright, so I'm going to set this to the side. And now I am going to actually clean this up a little bit. And I'm going to use my daughter's baby wipes. Get my fingerprints off of this and any dust. So I'm putting this little cutting board under here, because when I start cutting, I don't want to cut into the desk, my nice brand new desk. Alright, so for my stickers I have, so I kind of wanted to make this real hip hop, and for my stickers I have some Lates. It's a tribute to the Lates and the greats. Now I'm just going to take a look at where I want to put these. I just want to get this kind of going, so I got to figure out where I want to put them. Of course, I'm gonna have to cut some of it out, so that kind of sucks, but this is what it is. It's gonna look cool. People have influenced me one way or another, as they have influenced a lot of people. It is all respect. And then Biggie will go right here. So a little while back, I did an MPC live tutorial called Making Lo-Fi Samples Using Grid Edit Automation. I was trying to emulate the vinyl sim effect that you get in the SP-404. So what I want to do real quick is show you what I came up with the live. and then compare it to the vinyl sim effect in the 404. So I'll run the clean version in the 404, then I'll either chop it up or use it as a loop and make a beat out of it from there. Okay, so here is the version that I created in the MPC Live using the grid edit automation. This is my vinyl sim simulation. Alright, so I have a clean version right here. So I want to run it through the vinyl sim. So right now, what I want to do is select the pad. I'm going to hit record, select the pad. Actually, first of all, I want this selected. I'm going to go to the MFX. Its vinyl sim is 16. That immediately turns on, and everything you hear is now lo-fied. I'm going to turn my mic off in a second and just play this back and tweak the knobs till I get a good sound. So. So now I have my sample. That's through the 404 once again, through the MPC Live. So, I mean, I kind of like what I did with the MPC Live, but this definitely does sound a lot dirtier. Alright, moving on, I have some drums here. And I'm gonna go ahead and sequence the beat up. What I just did was I did a resample and just kind of recorded in live. So now I'm going to look for the BPM. I'm looking at what the tempo is on it. It says 64, 128. Pretty slow, but alright. So from there I'm going to go over to the pattern sequencer. I've heard of people having a preference where they like to use the pattern sequencer or the resample method. I've heard the resample method is a lot more popular. I'm liking it because it allows you to just kind of use your human feel and record a loop. I thought I was going to move towards using the pattern sequence more, but then I found those limitations. What I wanted to do was to be able to resample a pattern sequence, which I found out quickly that I was not able to do with this. So the reason I wanted to do that was so that I can isolate like certain sequences, like for example, like a bass line. So play it to the pattern sequence, then erase everything else, and then resample just the bass line. So I have like I could do like a finger drumming performance. But yeah, now I'm using the resample method, and I figured I use it in conjunction with the pattern sequence. So I'm gonna sequence my loop that I just created over on a pattern. So figure out the length of this. I think it's 8 bars. And the BPM is 128. Again. Let me stop that real quick and go out. I want this loop to be out for it. Okay, so see how it loops. Seems a little fast. I'm gonna adjust the tempo of it just a little bit. Slow it down. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so that sounds a lot better. So from here, what I want to do is add a bass line. So getting out of this pattern sequence real quick. One of the first things I did was I sampled some bass tones. And these came from the MPC Live. I used bass line. I used the bass line just default preset, usually a lot when I make beats with the Live. So I sampled a few of those notes into the 404, and now I have the ability to play bass lines. So I can punch it out with the pads, so I'll just practice for a second, see how that goes. Well, actually, so if I go right here. One thing that I wanted to be able to do with this, since my idea was to use it standalone, is to have just to plug a MIDI keyboard into it. Since I have these bass tones, I can play them chromatically, right? So being that I don't actually have a keyboard that has this type of MIDI out, it's known as MIDI DIN. It's like a 5-pin thing. I decided to plug the MPC Live out into the 404's MIDI in, and then I have the key station that's plugged into the Live, and so that gives me the ability to control the sounds within the 404. So in order to make that work, what I got to do is I'm going to go to an empty track, and I want to set it to MIDI. So now, essentially, I'm actually playing the notes that are in the 404. So let's experiment with that while I play back the pattern sequence that I have. I don't have any other instruments in here, so I want to play something. I got a trumpet in here, and so I want to play along and come up with something. Since I'm playing the instrument in the Live, I actually don't have a way of playing the pattern back, either the pattern or even what I resampled. So I can play that back and play, but once I'm ready to record, it stops the playback. So that kind of sucks. I guess using these two things together, what I could do is just play something, sequence it in here, you know. Once it's sequenced, it's at the same tempo, I could resample it to a pad and then play it over. So I think I'll do that. Alright, so I'll solo that out and resample it. Or sample it. Record. Got it here. That's all I'm doing today. I'm still learning the process of getting these two things to talk and work together. I want to get this thing going by itself, the 404. So as I learn some things, I definitely will be having some videos to share with you guys. I already have a couple in mind. I do want to show you all how I created somewhat of a key group. If you're coming from an MPC background or the live, how to create a key group or a multi-sampled kind of instrument that you can play on the keys, just using the 404 and a keyboard with the MIDI DIN, of course, that plugs straight in. Otherwise, you got to do something like this, like I did today. So yeah, man, my thoughts on this thing is it's a dope machine. I love using it. So far, it's a lot of fun. I like using my ears. I thought I was going to be simply using this thing alone. I'm kind of weird like that, where I'm like, why should I have more than one piece of gear that does the same thing? So, but I do love samplers, so I'm always like checking out new samplers when I get a chance to look online and just see how they work and stuff. But for now, it's cool that this is actually becoming that these two things are starting to work together. So I have some things in mind for it. I'm planning out some kits that I'm creating together with these two things, that I do want to have a Patreon available. So if anyone wants to support the lifted noise movement, you know, I'm here to kind of chase my dreams. That's what my channel is all about. I want to encourage y'all to do the same thing. So I do want to provide some of what I'm doing for y'all. So that'd be exclusive. If you know how Patreon works, there'll be different tiers. I'm thinking about doing 3 different tiers. One that just contains drums, one that contains key groups that I'm creating, and then another one that might contain like loops of some sort, like chord progressions and stuff that I create in the live and run through the SP. So that's a little taste of what might be to come for me and Lifted Noise. If y'all are interested in supporting me, that's something that I'll be doing. You know, I'll be providing exclusive content for those of you who do want to join. So yeah, this is what I'm doing. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm getting there. I'll be getting better at this. I'm gonna do the 404 videos by itself, because that is what I had in mind for it initially. So I'll be doing those. I do have a couple pieces of gear that I have in mind that go with it, but I gotta pay some of this stuff off. I'm still paying for the 404. I got it from Zounds and I made my first payment, but tax return money is coming. So I'm gonna quickly pay for this stuff. Do gotta take my family on vacation, but yeah, then I want to get a couple things for the 404 so that I can use it by itself, so I can demonstrate some things that I have in mind, that I've been having in mind, and some things that I've kind of had to readjust in my head, because I've found some more limitations that I thought weren't there, but they were there. But this thing's dope. So yeah, thanks again. Until next time, everybody stay humble, lift noise. My name's Raul. Peace and God bless.